Hey everyone, Ryan Casey here for MASSP, bringing you the latest and greatest tech byte video resource. Today I want to show you a new one I just discovered in the last couple of weeks called ThingLink, and I am at ThingLink.com. And basically, as I'm kind of scrolling through their main web page right now, it creates this really interactive and engaging dashboard, if you will, for learners. So whether this is staff or students, and you can basically take an image or a slide or an infographic and add interactive tags or different elements that they call it to provide that learner with more information. So whether it be text or a video or audio files, you can send them to other websites. You can embed maps on these images or infographics, and it makes it a little more interactive, if you will, and it lets the user kind of explore information, or you can choose to have them go in a series of steps too. So it's really cool. It even has some options for 360 tours, in which you can use VR headsets, as you see here. And then there's some data analytics provided as well. So I'm just using the free account right now, which has some limited amount of views that can be used. But for about $35 a year, you can open this up and make unlimited amount of these ThingLink boards if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and start by showing you some different examples of what this looks like and how are some different ways maybe you could use this in the school setting. So now I just want to quickly show you some different examples of how a ThingLink board works. So here we have a social studies example. Again, a nice little poster or infographic, if you will, explaining the 3 different branches of government. But you'll notice that as you move your mouse over, there's some different tags. In this case, they use a lot of different videos to help further explain different information, because maybe just reading it by itself doesn't, it needs a little more explanation. So in this case with a video, it's embedded on the screen. They can hit play, takes us right to the YouTube video, where they can now watch and learn and listen. And they would just close out or move on to the next one. It can take you, there's an example here now of just a regular old label that's added, or we can even take the learner to a different website if you want. So videos, labels, send them to other websites. Here's a clever one. They use videos again, but this was done by a school to kind of explain to students kind of the ins and out of the building, especially if they're new or they're coming back from summer break. So welcome video, how to use the library, general music class, problem solving, different things like that. Here's a really cool infographic which has a lot of information by itself, but again, sometimes these things need further explanation. So this one doesn't have any videos, doesn't take us to any websites, just has a lot of additional labels with information that pop up on the screen as we hover. And again, as the learner, I can choose which ones I want to look at first. I don't have to do this in a certain order. Here's one for staff, trying to show them some flexible learning path, EdTech options. So they can scroll over each one of these. It'll take them to a website or a video that explains how some of these different tools work. Here's a math one, trying to introduce the quadratic formula. So there's a lot of different websites they can go to see examples, videos that walk them through the formula. Here's some fun stuff related to the quadratic formula. So a lot of different ways you can introduce a lot of different content areas. And then finally, this one is probably the most organized, if you will, talking about energy and environment and diet. You can see that the teacher used this to numerically have students progress through a certain path, if you will. So by having them labeled or numerically ordered in a certain way, they can click on it. Maybe it takes them to a Google Doc or a slideshow or a form. Sometimes they're going to have to click to read more. Sometimes it just has additional information with just text in an image. So those are some different ways you could use a ThingLink. We're going to show you how easy it is to set one up yourself in the next couple of minutes. So I'm going to create my own ThingLink board now. What's really cool about this product, again, is they have a lot of stuff that's already been published by other users. So if you want to look at their library of stuff, you can search for items, you can clone them and make them your own. So similar to a lot of other ed tech resources that are out there. But I have one started here. I made an MASSP board that has some different buttons that I added, and I just made that in PowerPoint or Google Slides or whatnot. And you can see I kind of started already. I have a couple of different resources on here right now where I can take them to maybe watch a video if I want, maybe just a text label talking about our student services program. Here's one with a video that pops up on the screen to learn about the digital learning network. And when I'm ready to add more, you can see I have some different tools up here. So if I want to edit this and add more tags, I can do that. You can look at privacy settings, who has the link and can see this, whether you need to rename it, clone it, download it as an image file, delete it. So you can play with those different buttons, or share it out. When you're all done, you want to share this with your students, you can get a link to post. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this for now. And it really, all you have to do is click on this blue Edit Tag button. And then you just have to choose which item do I want. Do I want to add text and media? So that could include an image, just a plain old text label. Do I want to add content from a website? So think about using embed code, if you will. Or do I want to create a tour where I have them walk through so many steps? And we don't have time to cover all of these, so I'm just going to pick a couple. So I'm going to add content from a website. So a couple things is I can add in the code or specialized URL. So I'm going to add in our address of the office. I'm going to embed a map. So I'm going to copy that HTML. I'm going to paste that. You can even change the icon, if you will. You can upload your own icon as well. They give you directions about the specific file type that has to be. So I'm going to do the little home, and we'll do blue. And I hit done, and then I can drag this tag so it's in proximity of what it is I want them to learn about, right? So you can drag these tags anywhere on the screen. I can go back, I can add additional tags. I'm going to add text and media this time. I'll say, check out upcoming events. And I can upload an image. Sometimes images get hard if they're too big or too small, and then we can even send them somewhere. Now, and we're going to send them to mass.com/events. Again, I can change the icon. Info sign, we'll do yellow. I hit done. And I move that over to events. There are additional settings you can add here. If you click on that, you can have these, they kind of animate the buttons or icons. You can choose different color schemes. You can even upload audio to walk your learners through what they're seeing on the board, or you give them additional information. But when you are done, you simply hit done, and you can test these out by clicking on them and seeing how they interact. Then what's really cool about this is you'll notice on the right-hand side for your learners, there's a little immersive reader option. So if they click on this, it'll actually open up the wording that's listed and allow them to change the text preferences, so the size. So if you have somebody that's visually impaired, they can change the color. There's some grammar options if they want to highlight certain words or break down syllables. You can even choose the language in which you want this to be displayed. So really, really supportive, assistive technology being used there to help those who might need that. Something I know we don't probably think about very much, but that's probably one of the coolest features about ThingLink. Otherwise, when I'm all done, I can go ahead and share this by getting a link to copy, and then I can post. And with, again, the professional version, you get QR codes, and you can share this with multiple teachers from the same organization. are at the same school. You can share ThingLinks with each other easier, things like that. The last thing I wanted to show you was that 360-degree library, which is really cool. Again, so if you look at some of these different assets, they do have some that are available for you to copy and clone and use, and there's different subsets. So whether it's maps or maybe desert habitats or it's U.S. state capitals, whatever you click on, I'll click on state capitals. So they have all these different resources out around here. So if you did want to make kind of like a virtual tour, if you will, if you've ever done the some of those other online virtual tours, it works similar to that, and you can select and pick which ones you want to look at or clone to kind of build your own ThingLink. But it is pretty cool because you can click on them and look at them ahead of time to decide whether or not you want to use them, and you can use your mouse to drag and look around at, in this case, different states. So in this case, I'm at Oklahoma City. And all you have to do is close out to go back, and you can explore for other things, whether it's the 360 ones or not. They have a ton of different tutorials on here that walk you through how to maximize using a map or infographics or 360 tours. Almost kind of like what you see, realtors use. I'm going to go back one last time here because one other thing I want to point out. And when you get ready to make your own for the first time, I'm going to hit create. So you can see all these different types of options that you can create. If I do start with a blank canvas, this is really cool. So this integrates with Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and Canva. So if you do have some of these assets that they call them, so infographics already made on Canva, for example, or slides made from Google Slides, you can pull those things in to make it a little faster and easier for you to work with. And that, folks, was ThingLink at thinglink.com. And as you can see on my screen, it really is pretty easy once you jump in and make your first one. It takes about 4 steps there to get started. And if you do like it after the first try or two, you can go ahead and pay that annual fee to unlock more features. That's going to do it for this edition of Tech Bytes. Remember, you can see this video and others by heading over to MASSP.com and logging in. You can also visit our MASSP YouTube page to subscribe and be alerted anytime a new video is added to our channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.